is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We're doing another video for you guys today. We're going to do a turn 1 how to deploy Death Guard. So it's going to be mainly for 10th edition, trying to get secondaries as much as possible for Death Guard. There's going to be a lot of different variations of the list. This is just an example of what you could be running in 10th edition. We're going to go over tactics, how to deploy, where to set up, and kind of what's going to really boost your game in 10th edition and trying to get as many secondary points as possible. We were ranked #1 for Chaos Space Marine player in the world as of right now, and then Grey Knights last year for 9th edition. So Death Guard is really my fun army. They're the ones that I've been collecting for years and years and years. They did have a huge hit this edition, but with the new buff, they're just super fun to play. Putting them on the table and kind of screwing with your opponent's weapon skill, ballistic skill, or just being super killy is definitely one of my favorite things to do in the game. But with this video, hopefully you guys learned a lot on where you're going to be setting up your units. Try to be setting up for turn 1 secondaries and seeing where your opponent is setting up the table and kind of counteracting what they do on their end of the table. So this is just an example. We have an overview for you guys. If you guys are Patreon, you guys have already known that we're going to be doing these because we post all these up online to Patreons first, so all these videos come out first. If you guys want to support the channel, have more of these tactical videos come out, definitely head over to Patreon because you guys are fucking awesome. And if you want to get more into the competitive scene like these videos show, you basically join the competitive dirtbag on Patreon and you get to message me one-on-one. We go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about with the 40k, and then we'll be going and get you better at the game. So with this setup, just to give you an example of the list, obviously we have our big old Morty. He's a proxy model. We are going to invest into a real one soon because they are really good right now and super fun to play. But we have our proxy Morty model. He is ginormous. We have a unit of cultists for Death Guard. We have a Rhino right against this wall here. It's not on the second floor, just showing you he's right there. 2 Plague Burst Crawlers in the back here. 3 of the 10-inch move Bloat Drones, and then a Defiler or a the demon one, the hell thingy, the Soul Grinder. So either Soul Grinder, Defiler, whatever the hell you want. They're really good in 10th edition for Death Guard right now. The Soul Grinder is either toughness 11 with out-of-line sight shooting. The Death Guard benefits from the blast weapon for the Lord of Virulence and can move over 4-inch walls or lower, which just make it super mobile, especially moving up, shooting through the second floor, and then moving over on the side to charge something. So, and then we got some Plague Marines and the Rhinos. We have some guys off the table, which most of the time you're going to be starting them off the table because they're super slow, which is the Deathstrahl Terminators and the Blightlord Terminators with Lord of Virulence and Typhus. So there's a couple different options. You can run Typhus with zombies or Plague Marines, Plague, whatever the zombies are. Basically, they can come in from strategic reserve on the side, so that way they can move up forward and charge something that you want to get them into combat with. And with the other guys deep striking, you want to rapid ingress them anywhere on the table, so that way you're getting closer to the target instead of starting them on the table, only moving forward and then just getting shot in the face. So Lord of Virulence with this army, using the blast weapons that these guys have, to kind of get +1 to hit, ignoring cover, and if they're in contagion range, they're going to get +1 to their AP essentially at the same time. So then if you guys notice, we do have all the way up in this corner down here, we have a unit of Nurglings, and then all the way in this corner, we have another unit of Nurglings. I would highly recommend if you're playing Chaos or Death Guard that you're bringing at least 2 to 3 of these Nurgling units. They are the best with secondaries, especially turn 1, which is what this whole video is about. So with Nurglings, they have the pregame move, or pre-deploy, rapid ingress, whatever the fuck it's called, I'm sorry. They get to scout move, scout, advance, whatever they're outside the deployment zone. So these guys, how you want to set them up, because we're going to go over the secondaries that we have here, is you want to basically be able to make sure that you get Investigate Signals turn 1. Cleanse and Investigate Signals is one of the 2 hardest ones, but easiest ones to do if your army list plans for it. So Investigate Signals, what you have to do for that one is be wholly within 9 inches of a quarter to do a action, and then once you do that, you get 2 points for each quarter. So for these guys, since they're speed 5, you're going to put them wholly within 14 inches of one of the corners, which this guy is, and then over there it's the same exact thing. They want to be wholly within 14 and 5 inches away from one of the objectives. So that one there is 5 inches away from that objective. This one right here is right next to this objective, but they're both wholly within 14 of the corners. Now, Investigate Signal, again, it's a pretty hard one to get turn 1, but if you're planning for it, you're golden. So they're going to go back to investigate. They're going to go back and do investigate. We can have the Defiler or one of the 100-point drones back here fly over to investigate. They're going to do a lot of secondaries for you in this list because there's 3 of them. They're 100 points, and they're still pretty tanky and hard to kill. The Cultists, very good because they have the scout move. So if they're able to scout move up, make something sticky, or scout move, do an action, whatever it may be, you get to kind of plan that out after seeing what secondaries you have. So basically, you scout move up, get on the objective. On this objective, you can make both of them sticky turn 1, and then see what secondary you get to try and do the action. So let's see what secondaries we can go through and give you an example of what we're trying to do. So we'll scout move these guys. They're going to move up 6 inches, touch this objective, and then you can actually, I think, move these guys all the way out to tow your, I mean, you already have the backfield anyway, so it doesn't matter. So they're all scooching up, be within 6, because we're planning for aerial denial. So if we can make these guys aerial denial, they're going to basically go out and do aerial denial for us to get us that easy 5 points. Or they could do cleanse or whatever it may be. So you're going to have something within 6 inches of the top objective. Right there. So there you go. You got 2 options. They can either go up top here and do something on that objective, or they could go this way and do something in the center. So that's if you have turn 1. If you have turn 2, you back them up on the other side of this wall, so that way they can't be shot at. Same thing with most of the other army, you can't be shot at. So that way they're safe for one more turn to basically go out and do an action, or at least make some stuff sticky for you. So investigate signals. So this one's going to be one where we just talked about, where if you're in your corner, wholly within 9 inches, you're going to be able to do the secondary. So we have 1, 2, 3 corners now that are going to be able to get us 6 points turn 1 for investigate signal. It's going to be really hard, obviously, to get in their deployment zone. It's kind of even harder at the end of the game, because if you're coming from deep strike, we don't want to spend our 400 or 500 point unit just doing investigate signals. If you have to, it's a must, but that corner is going to be hard to get. These 3 are going to be easy for us because we have the advanced deploy on the 2 Nurgling units. So another good thing to combine with that would be cleanse. Sometimes we get stuck and we get cleanse or aerial denial or investigate signals and cleanse. So for cleansing, we again already have the 2 objectives in the center, one with the cultists, and then we can even put a Plague Marine unit out on the center to do another cleanse. So it's up to you if you want to sacrifice the Plague Marine unit, which I wouldn't. I would kind of save them. But this one can go up and do a cleanse. So that'll be 2 cleanse targets, and then 1, 2 investigate signal targets. So basically you still are getting 4 and 5 on turn 1. So 9 points getting turn 1 is not bad. Like if you sacrifice 2 points, you're still able to get 9 out of 11 points on turn 1. It's still very, very good. So that'll be an example of getting investigate signals and cleanse. Cleanse, we have these guys already talked about, the Nurglings, and the cultists in the center, getting you your cleanse targets. So priority targets, that's going to be kind of harder with this list, just because Nurglings are OPSEC 0. So if they happen to pick this target over here, it's going to be really hard to get priority targets. So we're not going to be able to be really set up unless I put my Rhino like here, and then it's able to move up, and then one of the guys get out over there. So since the Rhino's on the other side of the wall here, there's absolutely no way a Nurgle person can basically advance and get onto this objective. So that's your call if you want to kind of set up a little bit differently and be one thing aggressive. But if you don't get turn 1, it's probably going to die. You're going to give it such an easy target to shoot. So tempting target is going to be probably one of the hardest ones. And it was one of the harder ones that I was talking to with my other armies as well, because of the way the board's set up. Most of the time, if you have like a slanted deployment, you'll be able to get all of the tempting targets turn 1. But for this setup specifically with the 9 inch in the center, that one's going to be one of our hardest ones to get tempting targets. So again, rapid ingress is going to be good if you want to save it for turn 2. If you want to keep it for turn 2, you could do it that way and kind of just walk on and get something over here. Or deep strike on turn 2 to get that objective. So if nothing is near here, you can then keep it. And then on turn 2, deep strike and get somebody on that objective to get an easy tempting target. Because tempting target, if they pick a new one over there, you probably already set up for it. And center, obviously, already set up for it. Now they're probably going to pick this one again. So that way, if you deep strike over here, now your slow-ass Terminators are in this corner not really doing anything. But you're going to get 5 points. So the tempting target, again, is going to be a little bit harder. But if you're trying to set up for it, especially depending on the deployment, then you should be able to be golden to get tempting target. Now, the Dawn of War deployment or something like that is going to be pretty simple to hop out with one of the speed 10 guys to get that target that you want. Same with the Rhino. The Rhino just moves off 12, gets on the target. The guys get out, get on the target. Any of that is going to be easier in the different deployments. This one, again, a little bit harder. Behind enemy lines, fucking hard for Death Guard. Really, really hard to kind of set up for it. We don't really have anything that's going to pre-game move all the way up and get on the other side of the target. We can't bring Seekers in this list. We don't have anything coming in turn 1. So yeah, unless you set up like, hey, YOLO, everything aggressive on the line, you're not going to really get a tempting target. If you want to put Morty, just be like, hey, fuck it. They don't have a lot of shooting. I'm going to put Morty right on this corner here, and he's just ready to go. He can then obviously move up 10 and then charge something in his deployment zone to try and get behind enemy lines. Same thing with the Nurglings and these guys. So depending on if they're set up super defensively and there's not a lot of shooting on that side of the table, which is very rare, like if they're just going to have all melee, they kind of want to hit Morty in the face, like orcs or something, it's going to be really hard to get behind enemy lines with Death Guard, because it really just depends on the setup. So my main setup is going to keep Morty defensively to have the Plague Burst Crawlers shoot out of line of sight, not suffer the penalty. This guy get out of line of sight, not suffer the penalty, and just be super annoying in the backfield. So that's kind of why I have him all the way back here. If I want to be aggressive, my list would be a little bit differently. It'd basically be Rhino Rush and just kind of put everything forward and be like, all right, here's my army. That would be an army to try and get behind enemy lines pretty easily. So if you want to keep this and deep strike or rapid ingress, that's going to be one of the best ways to get behind enemy lines. So turn 1 or turn 2, turn 2 mainly, you're going to, if you go second, after their turn 2 movement, you're able to rapid ingress one of your units, which is going to be Typhus in the Zombies, Typhus in the Death Shroud, Lord of Virulence in the Death Shroud, Lord of Virulence in the Blight Lords. Whatever it may be, you're able to deep strike right outside their deployment zone or 9 inches away, move up 4, and then get that charge off to try and get behind enemy lines on turn 2. Next one will be Extend Battle Lines. That one's pretty simple. It's just you have to control one objective marker in no man's land, one objective marker in your. This one is one of the best ones to get at any time throughout the game. So if you get Extend Battle Lines, that's the one, like, yes, easy 5 points, because you can either walk up, kill somebody off an objective, walk up, combine that with another secondary and kill somebody. But most of the time, you're already going to be holding your home field objective, especially with Death Guard, because most of your shit's in the back here. And then just have to peek out, touch the center, peek out, touch that one, and then come over here, touch that one. So if you really want to have the cultists, I'm just thinking about this now, they could be your ones that are going to kind of spread out into all 3 corners and see what your secondaries are. Because then if they get tempting target, you're like, all right, I'm going to move my cultists over here. All right, I'm going to move them in the center. All right, I'm going to move them up top. So let's actually test that out. So if the Rhino's not as far forward, let's put him back, because you want to be defensive as well. So if I put this one guy only within 6 inches of this wall, right? You want to make sure that everybody's there. And then this guy, same thing, wholly within 6 inches of the wall, right here. All of your cultists are now ready to go to do a bunch of different secondaries. So there you go. So turn 1, you get turn 1, you're going to scout move. You're going to scout move up to here. Scout move forward. So now all of you guys are basically like in a huge line like this. So that way you can either go 6 inches onto this objective or 6 inches onto this objective. And then 2 inch, whatever. So boom, there you go. You got a line of cultists that no matter what they pick, whether it be tempting target, extend battle lines, control 2, aerial denial, anything you want, you're going to have your cultists right in the center there. And again, if you still need your Plague Marines to walk up and do an action, they can get out 8 inches, go in the center, do an action as well. But that would be a good setup. Put your cultists right on the line here, either back up or move forward. Them being 50 points, they just made up their 50 points with that. And if you're kind of going like this, you're also moving up and blocking them out from their deployment zone. So good little combo right there. So extend battle lines, pretty simple. That's the one really you're looking for. Also control one word. All right. So engage on all fronts. This one again is going to be really easy because you already have your Cursed Cultists. Right when you start the game, you're already in three deployment zones, so you already have 3 points for engage on all fronts. If you want to go the extra mile, you're going to be able to kind of move up and charge something to get in their deployment zone. But that'll be 4 quarters, and that'll get you 5. So Right now, I'm going to be kind of defensive. I'm just going to keep my Nurglings in the back here, and my Cultists are just going to move up and block out their line right there. So they're basically just going to move up, make that sticky, block out as far as wide as possible, and then be like, all right, if you kill my Cultists, it's fine. I have everybody else to counter charge or counter shoot you when you come out. So each and all fronts, we're already going to start in 3/4, and if you want to go 4, if you get this later in the game, you're going to be able to come down rapid ingress and take the back corner as well. Secure no man's land, that's the one if you control 2. So again, Nurglings don't control any, so you're going to have to make sure that your Cultists are touching 2 objectives. You have Mortarion running up to the top, these guys hopping out into the center, controlling that one. So as long as you control 2, you're good to go. So that one's pretty simple for Secure No Man's Land on turn 1. Even turn 2, if you're able to hop out and charge something and then move up and get that one, you'll be able to do that as well. Deploy Teleport Homers, that's the one where if you're within your opponent's deployment zone, which I don't think I'll be able to get with the Cultists. Yeah, so the Cultists won't be able to move up and do that, but they'll at least be able to get into the center and do deploy Teleport Homer. So in your shooting phase, select one or more enemy units that are not battle shocked and is eligible to shoot until the end of turn, if not engaged, whatever, at the end of your turn within your opponent's deployment zone or within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. So it's just within. So your whole unit doesn't have to be wholly within, just like Aerial Denial. This one is just within. So as long as one of your guys is within 6 inches of the center, boom, you automatically got 3 for deploy Teleport Homer. So turn 1, the Cultists are again doing something else for you to make that a lot simpler. Aerial Denial, you already have that in the back of your head. As long as these guys can move up and get Aerial Denial for you, which is wholly within 3 inches of the center, they can basically advance. Sorry, 6 inches. So this guy is wholly within like 10. So he would have to advance 4 to go out that way. So that's going to kind of hinder you for Aerial Denial. So you might have to move up your Plague Marines to the center to try and get Aerial Denial. That would be your best bet. So either the Cultists focus on those 2 objectives, or they advance to the center to try and get Aerial Denial. So Cultists can either get Aerial Denial. Nurglings, if you start 1 where the Cultists started, right here, they can move up and get Aerial Denial. That would be your probably best bet for Aerial Denial. 5-man Plague Marine unit, the banner, which I don't really want to waste the banner turn 1, but 5-man Plague Marine unit running out to the center, getting Aerial Denial. The Cultists moving up to the center, getting Aerial Denial, or 1 unit of Nurglings that started over here, move up and get Aerial Denial. So those would be your best Aerial Denial targets. And those are the ones that you're going to be doing or focusing on turn 1. If you get any of these turn 1, if you set up for it, you're going to have a better game, you're going to have a better play style, and you're going to have a better competitive play when it comes to Death Guard and 10th edition for secondaries. All the other ones, guys, they're all random. They're mostly killing the assassin, the capture enemy outposts, defend strongholds, super boring, killing people off objectives, bring it down, or overwhelming force, which is just killing people off an objective. So all these are mainly killing, which we definitely can kill in this edition. So if you get any one of these turn 1, it's just super hard to kind of do plan out for, unless you have a lot of bombardments with the 3 Plague Burst Crawlers and Soul Grinder just shooting across the table trying to kill units. But if you have something like that, like overwhelming force, if you kill somebody on an objective that started within range, if you don't go second or if you don't go first, and you don't have like really tanky guys on the objectives, they can then just shoot your Cultists off, shoot your Nurglings off, and just get an easy 3 to 6 points or 3 to 5 points for that. So think about that. If Brian did this against me, he didn't start anybody on his home field objective because he doesn't have sticky. So if you don't have anything sticky in your army, you don't have to start on the objective because you don't care about it. You're eventually going to get it on turn 2 anyway once you move on to it. But turn 1, if you're giving people a free overwhelming force and they kill you off the objective, you just gave them easy points, especially with the super cheap, easy units to kill for us on turn 1. So think about that when you're playing defensively, is as long as I have, like, I mean, for me, we have all the Plague Burst, the Soul, like, they're probably not going to kill that with out of line of sight shooting on turn 1, most likely. But if I have a unit of Cultists on there, they might kill the unit of Cultists pretty easily with Whirlwinds and stuff like that. So that would be my suggestions for that. But again, hopefully this helped you out, because this is a really good way to deploy and set up your unit or your army for turn 1. Because again, if you change your playstyle with no matter what army you play and prepare it for turn 1 secondaries, like shitty action turn 1 secondaries, you're going to notice a huge difference when it comes to the game and points at the end of the game. So if you lose by 5, but you have a really good turn 1, you might win by 5. You know, so instead of like losing by 3, that 1 investigate signals that you didn't do turn 1, you probably could have got that and either tied or beat your opponent. So it's a lot of different venues. Having your list, Nurgling's super good for Death Guard, super good for Chaos. They're always going to be my list. And then the Cultist, having the Scout move 6 gives you a huge advantage over other armies because you're able to kind of get out of your deployment zone turn 1 and be on action or on objectives to make them sticky, block out your opponent, or do actions in the center or the sides. So think about the ones that I went over today, which ones are your worst secondaries, and then start either adding a unit into your list for that secondary or setting up your deployment to really counteract that secondary that you're bad at. My worst one was investigate signals, being wholly within 9 inches of the corners. So I started bringing units and setting up the way that you should be setting up for investigate signal. When we were at a tournament and we had our opponents that we were playing against, they were about 2-3 inches away from the corner for investigate signal. So I kind of really coached them like, hey, you always want to start at least 14 or 15 inches away from the corner, so that way if you do get this, you can just move back and be wholly within. So I let them have it, but if it was like a tournament or whatever, like you want to make sure that you don't even have that conversation. You're just like, yep, I already know they're within 14, they're good to go, they're going to move up, investigate, boom, 6 points on turn 1 for investigate signals. So now that is a good secondary for us, we kind of want to get that turn 1 for 6 points. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. Leave in the comments below what you liked, what you didn't like, what we can improve. And if you guys want to head over to Patreon to support us, I really appreciate it. You guys are fucking awesome. You also get your own little Patreon Discord chat, which you guys get to message me. That's the one that we really pay attention to the most, because all you guys have a ton of questions about list ideas, tactics, and all that stuff. So we're trying to help you guys out and grow and get better at the game. So appreciate it, guys. Good luck with everything. And hopefully we see you guys at LVO. What's up, gents? 40k Dirtbags. So we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be selling up on the channel. We're constantly getting updated dice for the Dirtbag logo on it. Those are going to be sold for $1 each. If you guys are interested, hit me up on Discord. And also all of the stickers are sold on Discord as well. Usually you can buy the stickers and dice at the same time. We ship globally, so that's really good. That's the benefit of buying it through us, as well as they're all custom logos. You can't get these anywhere else. There's going to be more to come. Give suggestions in the comments below or over at Discord on what new stickers or people that you want me to create, as well as the objective markers. They're provided through 3D6 Wargaming. The link is in the bottom of every single video that's out on YouTube. And also with everything that's coming up, there's also models that we 3D print to give to you guys. All the models on the screen over here are available for sale. They aren't officially GW models. They are proxies. They just can stand in for any models you guys play on the tabletop. So appreciate all the support. Thanks for clicking on the video. Hopefully you donate and support to the channel to grow Dirtbag Nation. But if not, no worries. The like, subscribe is just as good. Appreciate it, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon.